Hello, friends. Today's topic will act as an introduction to anti-cancer agents. Although this topic is not a part of the syllabus of TYB Farm, it is very important topic to understand the chapter of anti-cancer agents and their mechanisms of actions completely. Apart from this topic becomes a very important part for the preparation of GPAT. So, let us start with the topic mitosis and its control. So, as we start with the topic, let us try to understand why do the cells divide? As a cell grows in size or it becomes larger, it finds it difficult to receive nutrients from the surroundings and also dispose of the waste products. Hence, after attaining a certain size, the cell prefers to divide. Now, let us try to understand the frequency of cell division, because the frequency of cell division is not uniform across all the cells of the body. The frequency of cell division depends upon the cell type. For example, embryo cells divide every 20 minutes. Skin cells divide every 12 to 24 hours. Liver cells divide every 1 to 2 years. And nerve and muscle cells do not divide after maturity. So, coming to what is mitosis? Mitosis is a elaborate process in actively proliferating cells. Proliferating meaning dividing. So, mitosis is a process which occurs during cell division. It results in division of duplicated set of chromosomes followed by separation of cytoplasm, resulting in two genetically identical daughter cells. Now, let us try to understand what is a cell cycle. A cell cycle indicates stages or phases through which a cell passes from its birth till next cell division. Now, the cell cycle consists of 4 phases. The first phase is known as G1 phase. The G1 indicates the growth phase. Then comes the S or synthesis phase, which indicates DNA replication occurring during this phase. Then comes the second growth phase, the G2 phase. In characteristic of G2 phase is duplicated chromosomes existing. Then comes the mitotic phase, where nuclear division followed by cell division, cytoplasmic division, and therefore cell division occurs. Now let us try to understand each phase. G1 phase is the phase where highest biosynthetic activities go on. This is consisting of synthesis of proteins and synthesis of enzymes which are required for S phase. I repeat, synthesis of proteins for carrying out the normal cellular function, and towards the end of G1 phase, there is synthesis of enzymes which are required for S phase. Any cell spends about 90% of its lifetime in G1 phase and carries out business as usual. That is, normal functions are being carried out. For example, liver cells will carry out metabolism, so on and so forth. After G1 phase comes the S phase. S or the synthesis phase indicates that there is replication of DNA occurring during the S phase. Okay, this is the unreplicated chromosome, and upon replication, these are two sister chromatids which are condensed around a protein. Okay. So this is the only phase where duplicate DNA or duplicate chromosomes exist. Then comes the G2 phase. In G2 phase, there are duplicate chromosomes present and the biosynthesis or growth occurs mainly involving production of microtubules or production of enzymes which are required for the last, that is mitotic phase. Now coming to mitotic phase. The mitotic phase is divided into 4 subphases. Have a look at this. There is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. So, in prophase, what happens? The chromosomes condense and the nuclear envelope starts dissolving. I think you can see it with a dotted line. The centrosomes which are present outside the nucleus move to opposite poles. Okay, the centrosomes which are present outside the nucleus move to opposite poles and spindle fibers start forming. Now going to metaphase. What happens in the metaphase, as is indicated in this diagram, the lining of the chromosomes occurs on the equator of the cell. The nuclear membrane has dissolved, the centrosomes have moved towards 2 poles, and the chromosomes line up on the equator of the cell. Then there are microtubules which connect kinetochore to centrosomes. Just have a look at it in the next diagram. Kinetochores, which are shown in as red dots, red or pink dots, are protein structures on the chromosomes, and these protein structures are the places where spindle fibers attach. Now, anaphase. What happens in anaphase? The spindle fibers contract. Okay, when the spindle fibers contract, they pull 2 sets of chromosomes apart and pairs of chromosomes are pulled to opposite poles towards the centrosomes. Last is the telophase. Now here look what has happened. The chromosomes are at the poles of the spindle. The spindle fibers disintegrate and nuclear membrane starts reforming. The cytoplasm divides into 2 separate cells and this process is called as cytokinesis. So from one cell, first the chromosomes duplicate, then the chromosomes are pulled apart, then the cytoplasm divides and this way 2 cells are formed. Now this is such a complex process that it should be controlled very properly for a normal cell to divide into 2 normal daughter cells. So just try to understand how the cell cycle is controlled. There are mitotic checkpoints. This whole process is known as mitosis. So there are mitotic checkpoints in the cell cycle. If there are any error found, there are in fact 3 mitotic checkpoints, and at each checkpoint, if there is any error found, then that error is either corrected before proceeding with the next stage of the cell cycle. But if the error cannot be fixed, then such cells undergo apoptosis so that errors are not carried forward. There are 3 mitotic checkpoints, as I mentioned. First is called as the G1S checkpoint. The second is called as G2M checkpoint. And the third one is called as spindle checkpoint. So let us try to understand how each checkpoint functions. The G1S checkpoint decides whether the cell is going to enter the cell cycle by DNA replication. So the big question that the cell faces is whether to divide or not to divide. Now, how is this decided? Whether the cell is going for cell division or not? This is decided by three factors. So, whether the DNA synthesis or DNA replication is going to begin or not is decided by size of the cell. Has the cell grown sufficiently large so that it requires cell division? Is the nutritional status of the cell correct? If it is not, the cell will not go ahead for cell division. Third, are growth factor signals sufficient so that the DNA replication can begin? If the conditions are favorable, the cell goes from G1 to S phase. But if the conditions are unfavorable, then the cell goes from G1 to G0 phase, where its functioning reduces slightly. The cell under favorable condition then comes to G1 and then can go to S phase. The second checkpoint is G2 to M checkpoint. In G2 to M checkpoint, the factors which are checked. Has the DNA synthesis been completed correctly? DNA replication, has it been completed correctly is a factor that is checked during G2 to M checkpoint. And then once it has been ensured that the DNA synthesis is correct, then the cell is committed to mitosis. Now, how is it done? The checking for abnormalities in DNA synthesis is a function of p53 gene and p53 protein. There is a p53 gene which gives rise to p53 protein. This protein is responsible for repair in DNA synthesis or replication mistakes. If there are mistakes which cannot be repaired, such cells undergo apoptosis or programmed cell death. This is necessary so that the daughter cells which result during mitosis process are also normal healthy cells. The third checkpoint is the spindle checkpoint. Now, let us try to understand what is being checked in a spindle checkpoint. First of all, are all the chromosomes attached to spindle? Because if all the chromosomes are not attached to spindle, then they will not separate correctly. Next, can the sister chromatids separate correctly? If there are some problems, the sister chromatids do not separate correctly and such separation is not allowed to happen. One of the very important kinase that controls the spindle checkpoint is aurora kinase. Okay, now all these checkpoints are controlled by a variety of kinases. Plus, growth factors are also kinase receptors. So, kinases are very, very important in controlling the entire mitosis. With this, we end this lecture of a recap of mitosis. The next introductory lecture, again important for GPAC, will be consisting of what are the cellular changes in cancer, and I will also touch upon some of the new therapies which are being evolved for cancer These are important for GPAT students. Okay, so with that, I end today's lecture. Thank you very much for a patient listening.